Guess who's back? Back again. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Hello and welcome once again to yet another episode of the JMAA Live Deluxe podcast. I'm your host, JMAA, she, her. And sadly, Fungus couldn't make it. I'm sorry. Yeah, like, they couldn't make compromises at the moment right now, so I at least tried. But to make it for the lack of a co-host or lack of another person on the podcast, I got another co-host, Gunny. Can you introduce yourself to the listeners or viewers or whatever? So in case anybody doesn't know you at all.
Sure. I'm Connie. My Twitter handle is IconicArt55. I've been a friend of Joan's for a little bit now. And okay, hold on 1 second.
All right.
I'm having issues.
Typical podcast problems, I guess. I don't know. It's whatever. But yeah, so basically what she's doing on her Twitter is basically post a lot of or retweet a lot of porn. So, it's a bit of a content warning in case you don't like porn or something. I have no fucking clue. Yeah, so all right. You good?
Hold up.
Okay. But yeah, I got while she's busy doing a bunch of stuff, I got a bunch of a couple emails with a couple McDonald's stories, and we get a little bit more of something here, something good stuff actually, whatever. I guess okay, I'm gonna probably entertain everybody for a while right here. Fungus, on the other hand, I think they're pretty much dealing with a lot of stuff right now, and I don't want to bother them with this sort of nonsense anyway, which is kind of icky at this point because I think they kind of promised much on coming to the podcast or whatever or something like that. But okay, you good now or? Okay.
What about now?
Oh, okay. Okay. Right. There you go. There you go. So yeah. You actually had something to tell me about or some story or whatever they wanted to tell, basically, or something like that.
Yeah, I had a couple friends that well, mainly just one that actually did work at a McDonald's. They've seen some stuff. I couldn't get a hold of them in time, but I do know for a fact that they had by the way, is my thing still sounding right or
Yeah, the thing still sounded right. I don't know about it, but yeah, it still sounded right.
okay, I'm making sure because I could hear myself previously and that was kinda making me stumble over my words.
Don't worry about it too much, honestly. Go
Okay.
on.
Alright, so my short bit, so I used to work at a store, it's a discount store that I don't want to name names, but you'll see them more or less every 5 miles in the southern regions of America, and I'm pretty sure
You
the
got a bit of
colors are the
experience
same.
with working at retail, right?
Yeah, quite a few years now. The color is of a bee. Uh, that's all I'm gonna say. Um,
Yeah, you get the idea, basically. Just,
yeah,
just safety things. We gotta keep it safe. Honestly, I don't want to mention my job either. So, yeah, it's
yeah.
just basically that. Go on.
Uh, anyways, though, there was this dude. I could say his name because his name's like generic as fuck. So his name was Michael. We got him hired on because it was kind of a slow time. we hardly had any people working for us. I was more or less kind of working every single day, didn't get a fucking day off.
Yeah.
And is it alright if I say the fuck word?
The fuck what? Hold on.
Yeah, the fuck word.
The fuck Gordon.
No, fuck word.
Oh, okay. The fuck word. Yeah, okay. Sorry, English is probably not my first language anyway, but yeah, the
Oh,
fuck word. What's so wrong
yeah.
about it in a way?
You know how YouTube is. I was gonna say, if need be though, you can bleep me.
Oh no, the fuck word is fine. What I
Okay.
mean is probably the slurs or whatever. I don't know. It's whatever.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say nothing like that now.
yeah. Obviously, it's just that. Yeah. Just in case, I thought you were gonna say a bunch of slurs or whatever. I don't know. It's just weird how you said it previously.
Oh, I say that because it's like it makes fun of
Yeah,
censorship.
YouTube stuff, right? Like they tend to demonetize you if you say like the fuck word like in the first minute or something, which is absolutely
Oh,
fucking
oh
weird.
yeah,
But
because
yeah, I don't know. It's whatever. It's like what, like beyond 1 minute right now. Which I mean, and I don't even give a shit about it. I say a bunch of whatever swears I can say. Whatever. It's okay, right? The previous episodes had similar swear words previously, so it's no problem here. Yeah, it's typical podcast problems.
I was gonna say I know it's just like if I remember correctly, Eric from Internet Comment Etiquette made like a whole deal about it in like the beginning of one of his episodes, like because it's like the first 30 seconds, I believe.
Yeah, no, I thought it was the first minute, like the first
Um,
60 seconds.
it's like I might be getting the number wrong, but
I thought, yeah,
anyways,
maybe I think it's gotta be the first 60 seconds or first minute or whatever. I don't know.
gonna say anyways. I think I'm getting off track here. Uh, so anyways, though, it was slow. Barely doing anything in the store. We needed people because I was working every single fucking shift more or less. Barely got a day off. Uh, so they get him hired in. And this place, it basically hires anyone off the fucking street, if I'm being honest. Um, as long as you haven't been
Yeah,
personally caught stealing in the store, they'll hire you.
yeah,
And so you know, everything went fine. I actually managed to get a couple days off, but he was awful, and I mean awful. Um, he would just stand in an aisle, stare off into space, and do nothing. And this kid wasn't on drugs either or anything. Like this kid, I think he had a mental problem or something.
yeah. Probably procrastinating a little bit or something, or like too much. I think.
Uh, Probably. And then there were moments where he would go to the bathroom and he would sit in the bathroom for an hour.
Ooh.
I mean, an hour and play YouTube videos on his phone loudly. So it's like he wasn't even like actually using the bathroom. He was just sitting there and
Yeah, it's like the kind of stuff that will
goofing off.
anybody will say. These people were born in the wrong generation or whatever, like old people
Yeah.
usually do. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Yeah. By the way, I saw like a McDonald's ad this afternoon, and I don't know. I kind of felt sick about it. You know what? Have you ever seen like the film Super Size Me at any point?
Uh, I I think I have. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Because like the dude would get like really sick, like
yeah.
seeing the
The
ad.
the Morgan Spurlock film. It's like a guy who basically eats McDonald's for 30 days straight, only McDonald's. And I mean, it's kind of got its problems, right? Obviously, it rips on fat people, and it obviously combines like Morgan Spurlock's problems with alcohol or something. Because at the first scene where he's eating McDonald's, he's basically projectile vomiting out of the car or something because of how much booze he drinks. But I mean, it kind of makes like the obvious kind of point that we might know already, but it's still a valid point regardless. And that is that cheap fast food is really bad for everybody's health at some degree at least. Like you gotta understand that if some meal is sold at that cheap price, right? There's gonna be obviously another price you're gonna pay either with your health problems or either with anything else, basically. Because I mean, there's no such thing as free food, right? You know?
It's it's all the preservatives, it's all of the grease, and I'm not even gonna really say anything specifically about like pink slime because
Yeah,
where
people tend to think
that
like the pink slime thing is a bit of a hoax or something. Maybe I kind of saw on sites like Snopes or whatever where it tells basically like the pink slime thing is a hoax, but you get the idea, right? Too much fat, too much grease, too much additives, probably some additives too. Too much
oh yeah,
chemical stuff in the meat and the
MSG and yeah, it's like MSG and everything. It's like because that's what gets you addicted.
yeah, at least in the United States. I'm not sure what's about it in the European Union, but in the United States at least, like they put so much shit into it. Like, do you know how to make the chicken McNuggets? It's basically like a mishmash of tendons and all the crap from the chicken breast, basically, which is not good either. Shredded up and mass manufactured like that. I don't know. I cannot
Oh yeah,
remember it was something like that, but that's how they made the chicken McNuggets in McDonald's. But
there's another
yeah,
thing too. That flavor of the chicken McNuggets.
yeah,
Uh, that
the
that's like artificial like chicken flavor. That's not even like actual like real chicken flavor.
yeah, it kind of makes a lot of sense, and it's funny because a lot of people usually, especially in the United States, tend to consume more McDonald's than usual. If you look at that little island in New York City, for instance, that particular island in the middle of the New York City River up there,
Uh,
they
Long
have
Island.
like a brilliant McDonald's places all crammed up in that little island at least. And you can possibly imagine how many more McDonald's stores are already there. Like the documentary also goes on a tangent about how 1 out of 4 people went to McDonald's. I mean, this is like basically like 2004 standards, right? But yeah, it's got a huge grip on like society, especially when you have to consider the amount of advertising and lobbying money a corporation like McDonald's spends on a regular basis. They probably spend trillions of dollars on that sort of stuff, which is
Na-
yeah.
I was just gonna say, now that you're telling me about that, like I just can't imagine the amount of like specifically like power waste and food waste and everything. Like that cannot go on for too much longer. Otherwise, like that's gonna be a major problem.
Obviously, yeah. And I don't know, like Super Size Me again. My Habits Problems, a 2004 film. It's a product of its time, honestly. But I mean, it kind of makes a bit of the point for the time being. I know it kind of rips on fat people or big people a bit too much, especially for a 2004 film. But I mean, I was about to recommend it until I realized Morgan Spurlock, the director of the film, had also like sexual abuse allegations or something, like sexual misconduct
Oh,
allegations.
I hadn't heard about this now.
Yeah, and it was back in 2017 when the hashtag Me Too thing was probably going on.
Yeah, because like the last thing I'd heard about him was like he did a second movie and tried to do it about like the chicken industry and
Yeah, I
KFC and
also heard this like a sequel right when I heard about the sexual misconduct allegations and everything. Like that, it was literally his career death by then. Like after that movie, sexual misconduct allegations came up, and it basically ruined his career, basically, like entirely. There's like even an
Damn.
article, I don't remember if it was from like the New York Times or whatever, but he got fucking blasted off his career, you know?
I didn't know about this. Shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Uh,
guess, yeah, I guess it's men and their problems. I don't know.
I was just about to say, are we allowed to talk about allegations? Because that, or I'll just look into it later. Because, like, okay, shit, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, I didn't know about this either, honestly. I just was basically baffled by this, alongside with all the problematic stuff that Super Sesame was all about, honestly. I mean, yeah, it gets kind of ugly, but I don't know. At least we can say that for the basic, very basic bare bones stuff, Super Sesame has got a bit of a point, even though the point is already obvious.
Oh yeah, it's like,
I mean, it kind of
um,
makes sense.
I would say this: instead of showing what happens to a person after they eat, that much McDonald's and everything, I would say it would be more effective to show the goings on inside, like say for example, like the production facilities that send the beef and send the chicken and everything.
Maybe that will
Uh,
work too, yeah. But do you know
because
something about this? That 10 years later, there will be a guy by the name of Cisna who will try the same kind of deal, ordering McDonald's for 90 days straight and still lose weight. The problem with Cisna, though, is that he's a bit of a mouthpiece for McDonald's at this point. He afterwards he did a documentary. There's even a phrase he slipped up on the documentary Cisna did, which he said something in the lines of, "Let's see if we can tell McDonald's if this is working or not." That's what he said verbatim, at least I think. But
mm,
yeah, a bit suspicious. And then after the documentary came out with the Cisna one, he went on to work for as a McDonald's representative for 2 years, which, yeah, it's a bit suspicious. There's a lot of people trying to prove otherwise, that the to sort of like debunk this sort of 30-day McDonald's thing that Spurlock tried to do in the documentary and Super Me, and do their own version of their experiment to prove him like that McDonald's is obviously not a health risk. However, a lot of these people I think are probably McDonald's mouthpieces at this point. But the funny thing about this is that even though McDonald's didn't say a goddamn thing about Super Sesame that much, except for like a press release or something, they did remove the supersizing from the meals, and they did a bunch of other stuff as well. So, maybe it takes like a very sensationalistic documentary to actually do just a tiny bit of damage to McDonald's, because McDonald's had a lot of losses after Super Sesame, only to eventually get back up to record profits afterwards, and all that shit. But yeah, Super Sesame. I got like a couple McDonald's horror stories that I got on the email. Do you want you want me to read them or something? It's from
yeah, let's hear that.
Yeah, it's from Conrad. Thanks, Conrad, by the way. Okay, so here's one titled "McDonald's the Hole." It reads, "I worked at McDonald's at the age of 16. It was a short time, but the income gave me a lot of money compared to the nothing I was making before. I must say, despite the nightmares that this story gives me, it was still worth it to buy my own GameCube, Xbox, and PC. There was a drain in the floor, one of those small drains for mop water or whatever, to make sure the floors don't get slippery. Well, one day the drain was clogged. Look down that drain and you just see darkness, because it's a drain, except not this one. This drain was filled with a pitch black muck. Imagine Satan's shits after eating all the evilest souls, and then add a stomach bug, and then just bump that up a few notches. as a minor, I was very limited in what I could do. I could work the fryers, register, drive through, and that's about it. No kitchen, minimal food interaction. So when it came time for someone to unclog the drain, I was chosen. I lost my home a few years later in Hurricane Katrina. When we went back, we had to wear a mask full of scents to enter the home. The smell was so bad. I lived through the entirely of what that whole situation again before I look at the hole again. I'm honestly surprised I didn't vomit. I had some poor excuse for gloves and I had to dig the drain out by hand. They eventually stopped me because digging up all that muck was getting the smell in the air. I have most of the experience blocked from memory, but I will never be able to block out the horror of the hole. So that's the email, the first one I got. And what do you think?
Oh God. What that sounds like is
It's horrifying, yeah.
yeah, that's that sounds like the grease trap that just was never fucking cleaned,
Yeah,
and
it's
eventually, yeah.
yeah, it's a kind of shit that make you go like, I'm loving it.
Oh, yeah. It's like I'm
Jesus
loving the
Christ.
diseases.
It's fucking fuckly. Holy shit. Black muck smelling like
Yeah,
shit. Wow.
yeah. It's because
I
it's
must
like
ima-
it keeps. Oh, good. Sorry.
yeah, I must imagine it must smell worse than like the last kind of gastroenteritis diarrhea that I had like a couple of several weeks back, I think. But holy shit.
Yeah, it's like those are supposed to be cleaned like very regularly so that doesn't happen. But apparently, the manager of that store doesn't give a fuck at all
I mean,
because
a
that's
lot of these McDonald's stores don't really give a shit about like hygiene and something. They tend to like skip a lot of health inspections or whatever. I think. Probably, maybe. I think it's Super Sesame too. They had this problem where they tend to hide like the nutritional value sheets of their meals in some really hidden places so people don't get to know the basic facts about if they're making the right choices at the time of eating at McDonald's. But I don't know, it's completely unrelated, honestly. Second email, still from Conrad. Thank you, Conrad. Reads as follows. Not as interesting, but they will make us jump in the dumpster and push the garbage down when it was full. Bags will pop and squirt juices. You might think that McDonald's food smells good, but I promise you that after 10 minutes, the smell goes from tasty to disgusting, and then all put together in a bag with drinks and condiments. Yeah, only did that once quite soon after.
that is so nasty. I couldn't imagine that. Just uh, oh.
Ooh, I'm loving it. Makes you go like that, you know? It's McDonald's. Ronald McDonald. McDonald's play place, you know? It's all fun and games. It's all
So
good.
it's
Finger licking good like in KFC or something. You know
no,
that?
that's one to make me love a bullet.
Oh, girl.
That's because that ooh, that's vile. I
It's fucking vile, I know. All this
that
shit. Is it, I
that
mean, I heard
that is
about people
okay.
wasting the grocery store food that don't sell like a lot. I mean, it tends to happen a lot in grocery stores, like I don't know, Walmart or whatever, right? Like they tend to throw away like a lot of the stuff they don't sell, like especially food, in the dumpster, and that's food anyone could basically get if they cannot afford it, basically. And
Yeah,
what's it ended up there for? Like rotting like stink and then stinking like ass and being unedible as crap? You know? It's such fucking vile shit. Jesus.
that's one thing I was thankful about. Like that previous place I worked at.
Yeah.
Uh, we would actually take the stuff that's like just about to be out of date, but we know wouldn't go go bad and hurt somebody, and manager would look at us like, okay, you want this like really discounted, or so that way we're making somewhat of a sale, or you want to just take it to a shelter or something. Because like
Mm-hmm.
the canned food, like that's something that'll stick around at least about 6 months afterward,
Yeah.
and and so we would do that, and like there was like some foods we couldn't do, like meat and stuff, because we had coolers and we sold like packs of sandwich ham and everything, and that's one we wouldn't do, but like the other stuff, like like yeah, that was kind of free game, because somebody could actually eat that, and it's not on their dime technically, and except when it came to stuff that we wanted to buy, but
Yeah.
we we would donate it, and we technically weren't supposed to. But I don't work there anymore, so fuck you.
Yeah.
Not like they could do anything to me now.
At
So
least you donate the stuff or to someone else, I guess. Like that's good. That's
yeah,
because
because
yeah, like I said, a lot of retails like that tend to throw away the food and everything into the dumpster, and yeah, it's a waste. It's all a waste. I don't know if it's like a U.S. exclusive thing or whatever, but it's just basically a waste. Oh well.
it. I think it might be just a U.S. thing, because everywhere I've seen, like especially like other places too, it's like they'll sit there and you know try to donate it or what have you, but it's like sometimes it varies company to company.
Yeah.
Because the company I'm working for right now, I'm not gonna say their name, uh, they do donate stuff like that, like, and they actually tell you in the training, like, hey, so when it comes to stuff like this, we donate it or we put it on clearance, and
Mm-hmm.
like it that even extends to like clothing and like mulch for like grassroots gr- groups and companies and everything.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like if they can't use it, we'll use it ourselves in the store in areas we have to, or like I said, we donate it, and so it's like not actually getting fucking wasted.
Yeah, it's kind of like one past friend of mine who used to work at a pizza place, and whenever they had like leftover food or whatever, they used to eat it basically. So, I mean, it's kind of like, what's the word? Like, kind of the leftovers were basically like a bit like old or something, but at least I mean, they got something for dinner afterwards in the breaks or whatever. So, I mean, it was kind of all right. I don't know.
Oh yeah, because the one friend that like told me the story about Michael that used to work with me, uh he would get free food up to $7, like 750 or something like that.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
so I mean, at least it's put to good use. I think, unless that so-called Michael doesn't get to really work that much. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's just that millennials and Zoomers are tired of the usual toxic work environment that boomers tend to quit. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Honestly, maybe that's
it's that actually is like kind of a true thing. That is something I
yeah.
have noticed.
Or
And I've
yeah.
actually. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, what it's. Yeah, go on.
I was just gonna say it's. I've actually admit to kind of pushing back a little bit when it comes to some stuff. Like, cause it used to be back then, you had to sit there and you had to take getting cursed out by customers and stuff. Like nowadays, like somebody curses me out on the phone, or curses me out like right there, I'm gonna tell them, no, I'm not gonna serve you. Take that attitude elsewhere,
Yeah.
or I'll hang up on them. And I've actually been told by my managers, like, hey, don't sit there and don't take this. Somebody's treating you like this, like the moment they swear at you, call one of us. We'll deal with them.
Yeah, it's like every bad decision the whole company makes, as like the executive branch does, is you're gonna pay for it at this point. You're right.
Somewhat. Um, like, cause there's rumors that my store might be 24 hours again. I don't know.
I don't know.
Again, I was gonna say again, it's just rumor. But thankfully, not yet so far. And I'm not gonna work longer than my time. That's like, don't get me wrong, I like overtime, but no. I got a life to live.
Yeah, get riff. Yeah, I don't know. We gotta be wary of saying this kind of stuff, otherwise we'll be called communists. Who
Oh,
knows?
oh,
Oh
oh
no.
yeah, oh yeah. Because it's like some
Well,
people.
be careful with that. We cannot afford being called communists at this point. Otherwise, people will get mad at us. Like a bunch of I said on Twitter, like there's this show that Sam Hyde made called Fish Tank Live or something, right? And it's basically like he traps a bunch of people in a house or something. I have no basic idea what it is. It's like a reality live show where there's surveillance on a bunch of random people, Sam Hyde or something, and it's basically bait for right wing people to just laugh and point at marginalized voices or whatever, as per usual. So I tweeted, do you know basically that the creator of Fish Tank Live, Sam Hyde, is a neo-Nazi troll who donated to the Daily Stormer, a neo-Nazi website, and the obvious shit came by. The usual communist Wojaks or Sojaks came by as per usual, which I gotta admit, it's kind of ironically like a good rebuttal at least. I gotta admit, yeah, but yeah, it's as expected as you can probably get out of there. I don't know. It's we cannot afford getting called communists, or otherwise we get people mad. I don't know.
But it's funny how you know if I remember correctly, he he is praised by these people, but yet he calls Ian. No, because I can't say that because that would actually get me in trouble. Uh, he will post online. He doesn't call in. He will post online and say that he's a school shooter every single time a major school shooting happens. And it's like, you think this man is funny, but yet he's being so disrespectful to people that genuinely died, kids that had
I mean,
nothing to
isn't that
do
this
with
whole
anything.
shtick to make people uncomfortable and sort of being disrespectful to people? I think that's his whole shtick by now. It's not funny, but
Oh
that's
yeah,
pretty his whole shtick by now.
and it's like, don't get me wrong, there's ways to make people uncomfortable and it still be funny. I mean, look at Impractical Jokers. But at the same time, though, like that's that's like haha laughing at the dead, and it's like these are kids, man. Like I guess you want to laugh at dead kids, and but I mean, that's your call if you want to do that. I mean, I'm still gonna call you a fucking piece of shit and an asshole for doing that, but
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah. I mean, what's so funny about watching a guy in the Perfect Guy Live podcast just say a bunch of random fucking nonsense that makes people uncomfortable for like, I don't know, 2 hours or something? That's, where's the funny? I cannot find the fucking funny in there, honestly.
well, the funny part I did see about him is he tried as hard as he could to get involved in that fight, that boxing match on YouTube, and
Yeah, it wasn't like Froggy
ev-
Fresh, that the some hot train or something.
I think so, and it's like everyone just straight up fucking ignored and banned him because they
Well,
knew it's like, okay, if we let this dude in, he's gonna cause trouble.
yeah, I mean, he previously tried it himself. Sam Hyde tried it himself to get in a fight with someone at probably the creator class or something, the first one. And then the second
Yeah,
one, he had Froggy Fresh, uh, who made
But
a really uncomfortable joke about Anissa, and then like somewhat was basically similar to what happened with Sam Hyde, basically, because Froggy Fresh is buddies with Sam Hyde. He's the same kind of typical piece of shit. No, I mean,
so,
literally the
so
same
this ain't.
shit happens.
So when you say Froggy Fresh, is this the same dude that was like he made that song? Like he's like a really back Southern dude. Like he's got a deeper Southern accent than I do. And like was singing about how he's the baddest of them all, and it's like his rap name used to be Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, I
So
don't know about
it's
that.
the same dude. Let me just gonna say because I didn't think he turned out like that. Shit.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't know about that, honestly. Is that even a thing?
Uh, so his name is Froggy Fresh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Froggy Fresh.
I am Froggy Fresh on Twitter.
Yeah, I assume it's Froggy Fresh on Twitter. I don't know. I didn't look too
Uh
much into it.
oh God. Let me check just to be certain. I was like, oh man, he used to be cool back in the day.
Yeah, I think he did like a couple cool videos when he was a teenager or something. I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't,
he used to be cool. Oh man,
now he's buddies with Sam Hyde. I ruined your shit.
yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
No,
Ruined shit. Oh no.
that's ruined.
Yeah. Kinda
Cause he actually
sucks.
turned
Yeah,
like like
childhood
uh,
heroes. Don't trust them all the time. Just saying.
oh, never meet your heroes.
Yeah. Don't ever. Don't ever. That's at least what I can say about this sort of people is that it made me possible to sort of make fun of all these shark mindset people. You know the shark mindset?
Uh, I
Shark
believe.
Yeah, shark mindset,
Mm,
yeah.
gonna say that's the first time I've heard of that term, but enlighten me,
Well,
enlighten me.
I mean, it's kind of similar to that of CEO mindset or the
Like the what's his name? Everyone Sigma male grind set type
yeah,
shit.
the Sigma male grind set type of thing. Except here in Spain, we call it like the shark mindset. I have no fucking clue why. It must be about the whole astroturfing of all these financial guru shits in Spain that overuse that term a lot. But yeah, that's actually how we say it in Spain. Shark mindset.
Well, I could see it because it means as soon as you get the scent of blood in the water, like that ends up being like the only thing you think about.
Yeah, maybe that's how it works. I'm not sure. I'm not a marine biologist, right? But like, kind of makes sense for a bit. Except I have no fucking clue.
Well,
Um,
that's my knowledge when it comes to sharks. Uh, you're gonna find out something about me today, Joan. Uh, my persona is a shark because sharks had a large impact on me since I was a kid. Ever since I watched the first Jaws. So
oh, okay. My persona is a hyena. I
I was
gonna,
gonna say I remember because I did that piece for you.
yeah. It's oh, I don't know. The faces are a bit weird though. I don't know. But it's whatever. I don't know. Have you heard about this Mr. Beast and Chris Sunny Beach video that released like a short while ago?
Uh, I have actually, yes.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
gets
cause
real icky. I don't know, but the video was basically mostly a lot of transphobic comments, just boosted up,
that's
just to
I
excuse
hadn't.
that. Chris might be a nightmare to Mr. Beast or something, which it's not true, obviously.
Gonna say yeah, cause I had seen about it while on my way to work one day, and so I didn't get a chance to actually watch the video. It's on my saved, like not saved, but watch later list. But
Mm-hmm.
from what I could gather and reading, yeah, like you said, it's you know, Mr. Beast came out and defended his friend Chris, and Sunny V2 was basically talking shit, which
Yeah,
someone
that's the whole
someone did
gist
a
of it.
video. Oh yeah, somebody did a video on Sunny V2 actually.
I think it was
I had
like
to
Big Joel or something. I remember.
Big Joel or like Elvis the Alien or someone exposing how he doesn't really do as much research on his videos, and like he's not as accurate as he says he is.
Yeah, like I didn't need to watch all those videos exposing him, and I have this feeling like he does this sort of poor research thing. It kind of makes sense now, yeah.
It's
Like,
like after
but that's
after I
what you
watched it.
expect from uploading like a video at least each week. That doesn't barely give you breathing room for research or whatever. Like I tend to release videos every 1 or 2 months, and that gives me like a little bit more breathing room for research or anything really. But this guy has to release a video every week. What's the
Yeah,
fucking need for it? I don't
it's like unless it's like easy content, like talking about like Karens or something. Like this one channel I've been watching, like I think they're like Public Freakout, and he's got like a second channel called The Reckoning, where he goes back and you know researches what happened to Karen's after, which just takes like 5 minutes of research.
yeah,
But
basic googling shit, right?
yeah, but still though, it's like when it comes to the like Sunny V2, like that's a lot of research, dude. Like you need to chill it out and maybe take a breather or two, so that way you can make sure your information is actually right and accurate.
Yeah, here's what I guess what's going on here with Sonabate 2. I think he's probably just regurgitating what's already been said and maybe other videos or other content that he is about to make it about. So what happens is that you see normally in his videos, right? He regurgitates a lot of the comments made about on the topics he talks about, like TikTok or YouTube comments. He tends to regurgitate a lot of those, and like, what's the fucking point of that?
It's said that because where he already has a pretty decent following, uh, he I guess he feels that he can get away with it, and like
I
like
mean, it
don't get
kind
me
of sounds
wrong,
similar
there's
to the situation with like Behind the Meme. I think. Oh, I think it was the name of that previous channel, right? It got
yeah
like a
yeah
huge
it's
drama with employment or something.
yeah let's God, what was his like intro thing? It's like it's like let's get into the meme or something like that. Like it was really bad, but like his
Yeah,
content
it's
was like
fucking horrid.
his content was digital McDonald's, because even though it was stupid, it was horrible. While sitting there cooking, I would just
Mass
watch over
consumption,
and over
yeah,
and
it's
over.
it's
Yeah,
easily digestible shit that it's mass produced, so it makes sense, yeah. I don't know, like in
now
the
I wish
times
he was
of
still.
in the times
Go
of
ahead, sorry.
video essays that last like 1 or 2 hours or even 8 hours, like Quentin Reviews did an 8 hour video essay about what iCarly. Like in times like that, I do think I expect more people to do their due diligence of doing research, at least a minimum, on important things like or topics, you know? But
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
God, couple months ago, a YouTuber I watch called oh God, I'm gonna have to look up his name. This real Billiam
Yeah.
did like a two-part video about, like, I don't know if you know the animated series because we're around the same age. Code Lyoko.
Oh, I remember that one. Coat Lyoko. My crush was
Yeah.
Aelita.
Ah, God. Oh, that those big foreheads. That's a style like that's hard, in my opinion, to kind of recapture. Not due to like the art style alone, but just like the era, because it
Yeah,
made
like a
fun
mid
of.
2000s era type of art style, right? Do you mean that?
Yeah, Yeah, because like I think everything was still like hand done, like hand animated and everything.
Yeah.
And like they got away with so many references because like there's an episode where they fought the xenomorph from Alien, but it technically wasn't the xenomorph. Had dreadlocks like the fucking Predator, and then there's another episode where they fought a Terminator and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, like
The
I'm gonna have
message
to.
of the show, I think, is that where stuff happens in like the virtual universe, it tends to bleed out into the real world. So they have to get into the virtual world to like sort of stop the weird shit in the real world from happening. I think that's how I remember how it was,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you got it right. It's it's like the villain was named Xana, and
Yeah,
that's what there was to explain the Alien and Terminator references. Uh, there was for the Alien one, there was a movie dude that was looking for some of the kids to see if they wanted to, act in his movie because he was wanting to do like an Alien sequel,
yeah,
and he had the puppet with him for the Alien, like the animatronic, and Xana managed to hack and take control of the fucking xenomorph puppet.
yeah.
And so like that's how like Xana was like controlling it and like terrorizing the kids, and they had to stop it. And it's show every single time it was different, but it was the same thing every time. Last minute, somebody's about to get fucking nerked. Not
Yeah,
nerked,
at
murked.
yeah. At
And
some point, Alita also like tend to also go out of the virtual world instead of being just like a VTuber kind of thing.
oh yeah, it's like they actually managed to get her because that was one of the
Like
main
it was a
goals of the first
fucking
season.
big deal. It was a fucking
Yeah.
big deal, honestly, because all the time, with the virtual world especially, we saw like this kind of crappy CG type of stuff that in the mid 2000s era, like 3D stuff. But like, wow, okay. They managed to pull her out of the virtual world for some reason and make her into bone and flesh, apparently. Which I mean, yeah, I don't know. It was kind of a big deal back then. But yeah, what was about that YouTuber that was commenting on that? Probably.
Uh, like he. I was just going on about how like nowadays that's kind of the big thing because it was his video was like an hour long, and the part that someone else did was like I think also about like an hour long.
Yeah.
And it's like that's 2 hours of my life wasted about a cartoon that I've already seen 3 or 4 times, but it's still I'm gonna watch it
People are still
because
gonna
it's
watch that kind of stuff. I don't know.
like it's like a topic that catches you.
I mean, if I think that if something exists, there must be an audience for it. Just like if it exists, there's gotta be porn about it. You know?
Oh, yeah, yeah. In my line of work, I'm gonna go ahead and admit it. Yep.
Yeah, that makes
Because
sense. Yeah.
I've been commissioned for some stuff, and I ain't gonna say the dude's name. He's a real sweet dude. Uh, but there was a cop show, I think Brooklyn 99, that he had me commission, like, or he commissioned me to do one of the characters for him, and he got like, that was a weird commission, but
Yeah, it's. I
you know,
don't like the characters a bit teenager or underage something. I think.
oh no, no, they're adults. It's like
Oh.
a cop show. It's like a parody cop show.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like because I anything like if the character actually isn't of age, like I like no, because I'm real picky about that. Because
No, obviously you're not
I
gonna do it. I mean,
yeah,
you're doing it right. You know.
because I blocked and cussed out a dude on Twitter because he wanted me to commission of he wanted a commission of Hickam and Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon doing stuff, and I was like, dude, he's a 15-year-old kid. No.
Yeah. There's people like that usually. I don't know. It's like, yeah. Map Twitter, I guess. What do you know?
There's always going to be like those kinds of freaks and weirdos. Like
Oh yeah, speaking of freaks and weirdos, have you heard about the Pentagon Discord leaks? Well, I seen a
Yes.
whole full
Yeah.
video about it, and here's the whole story, right? So, like, there's this kid called Jag, goes by like the moniker of Jack the Dripper, and he's basically like an employee at the Pentagon or something, as far as I recall. Which what he did, to impress like his own Discord server, which was the Thug Shaker Central, he printed like secret classified Pentagon documents about the Russo-Ukrainian war on like a printer from like the SCIF servers or whatever. He went all the way home with all those classified printed documents, and he photographed them with a phone, and that's how he leaked his stuff on the Discord, the Thug Shaker Discord. However, there's a huge problem with that. He did it through Discord, and not just that, his Discord handle already hints his real name. It's basically called Jack in Discord, right? But also,
Yeah.
you know how Discord tends to like send the FBI any data that is impertinent they need, just in case anything illegal happens in there. Well,
Oh yeah.
not only that, he also paid for Discord Nitro, which gives away your billing information, your billing address, which also gives more of a hint of where you live exactly or who you are, right? So you can imagine what basically happens next after he leaked the documents on Discord.
Oh yeah. It's like they automatically squeal it on him. Like,
They pulled a full brigade on him, basically. And he was coming out arms raised, and he was arrested right there. He's facing 15 years in prison for being the dumbest kid on the fucking internet,
if I
basically.
remember correctly, Mudahar said like the charges he's getting is like treason or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Or it's like leaking classified documents.
even to the point of authorities saying he posed a threat to national security. I mean, if the law tells you that, well, fucking hope Better Call Saul helps you on that one, because I don't think you're gonna get out of that one.
Oh yeah, because like that's no, no.
No, like
Like,
you're not gonna get out of that one, obviously. And you fucked
the
up
only,
colossally. And not
the
only
only
that,
way.
not only
Okay.
that, yeah, you know that because you're the dumbest kid for using Discord for that and paying for Discord Nitro for that. You know the huge privacy issues there's already on Discord, let alone doing that like that.
Oh yeah, and it's like the two things for me when it comes to it. It's why did you do it for Discord, and two, was your job really worth it to show off to a bunch of NPCs in your Discord? Was it really worth it?
Yeah, I know it still baffles me for some reason. Why? I mean, the Thug Shaker Central is basically right wing memes about sort of religion, manliness, or whatever it is, right? It's basically like sort of like a typical Chad alpha male kind of shit in there, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like the Andrew Tate shit, and
hmm.
it's but it's like it's like every other week, you know. Someone on the War Thunder forums got arrested for leaking documents.
I mean, that kind of makes sense because I
Like that
mean,
one, that one does because like you know they're actual like you know tank enthusiasts and everything, but still,
but the Thug Shaker Central though, in a meme Discord, you know.
it's like most of them are gonna look at it like oh you know they you know because a lot of these
And
people in
then
the
what?
mindset
It spelled then into the Wow Mao Discord, the meme YouTuber guy, and like
oh
at
yeah
least
yeah I remember
30 of the 300 documents are leaked on the Thug Shaker Discord, and then on some other Discord as well, which eventually landed him into the pro-Russian media as well. And you know what? It's kind of silly. It kind of fucks up even more the situation of the Russo-Ukrainian war even more. I don't look like I get that. I mean, I'm not here to pick sides on this war. It's a horrible tragedy. I get it, and like it's fucking ugly, but it gets more fucked up eventually when that kind of stuff happens.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say this. I'll admit I've got my sides kind of picked when it comes to stuff like that. But I'll explain my stance on it too. Um, I support Ukraine,
Yeah, that's
but at the
understandable.
same but at the same time though, I don't hate Russian conscripts because they're they're there and they don't want to be there. Like yeah, I've told you before. Me and my partner, we have friends that are conscripts, and we've stayed in contact with them throughout this whole thing.
Yeah, the whole
They
thing
were,
is generally ugly at this point. Yeah, I
yeah,
get
like
that.
like they were told, you're just going out for a training exercise. Like this isn't going to be like anything longer than a day or 3 days.
Yeah,
They get there and they're seeing the whole line of trucks actually going into Ukraine. Trucks, BTRs, tanks, and they're like, "Okay, this is a training exercise." Yeah, it's a training exercise. Then the jets come in and they start bombing civilian areas and trying to bomb crucial areas, and they're like, "Oh, this isn't training."
yeah, it's that kind of
And
thing that makes you go like, is this really training right now?
yeah, yeah, and so far, one of them has gotten to go home because she got hit with shrapnel, and I thank everything above
Jesus.
because yeah, she was actually looking at deserting
Yeah,
um, until it got told because she got reassigned to a group that was led by Wagner. Um, I've told you about Wagner
yeah,
PMC,
Wagner
haven't I?
Group. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Putin's personal army. Yeah, I know that.
yeah. And say they, they had the new protocol. Anyone who runs, anyone who betrays, you get in the hammer. Literally a sledgehammer. They'll break your neck with a fucking sledgehammer and they'll bust your head in.
Yeah,
So she kind of ixnayed that idea, and thankfully she got hit with shrapnel and got sent home, a quote unquote hero. A hero of the new Soviet Republic or new Soviet Union, whatever Putin wants to fucking call it.
yeah, it kind of fucking blows the situation. I don't know. Tankies are bad as per usual. What? Nothing
Yeah.
new under the sun. Well, you know. Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
on the bright side, everything seems to kind of be going to shit for Putin. Aside from being labeled
Yeah,
a wanted criminal, his own people are turning against him.
yeah, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah. And there's this new beer, the ultra right beer. I'm pretty sure you responded to it on Twitter as
Oh
well.
yeah,
Like literal
yeah,
piss
yeah.
water.
Oh God, yeah. And do you want to know a little bit of information that people dug up about that?
Yeah, apparently I heard like it's the same company that makes Spotlight or something, right? Like
Yes,
literally.
it's the same brewery as Anheuser Busch, and
Yeah.
it's but it's
They
like the
got him.
dudes like because they people actually tracked it down, and it's like, dude, this is made by Anheuser Busch, and he's not responding to anything. I personally DM'd him. Other people have DM'd him, have commented over and over and over on his thing, and he is not responding. He ain't saying a word because I think he realized like, oh fuck, I got caught on my grift.
Yeah. I mean, I bet your ass that very particular beer, the ultra right one, that's gonna taste like actual piss. I'm not
Yeah,
lying.
it's because he says there's only 4 ingredients in it, and it's like I'm not much of a beer drinker. I'm more for liquor, vodka, rum, stuff like that. But still, there's a little bit more that goes into beer than just 4 ingredients. If
For,
you want it to actually like
let me
taste
guess.
good,
Let me guess. Other ingredients are woke or something, right?
that's what he thinks. He's not, he's not counting any kind of like flavorings or anything that some beers are, have in them.
Oh
and
wow.
it's
Yeah.
probably yeah.
That makes
Uh,
sense. I might be woke myself because I normally drink my beer with lemon.
yeah, it's like, oh, you're woke. What, dude, you're already
What kind of
transgender, so
what kind of
you're double
nonsense
woke,
is that? Like
dude. You're,
thinking ingredients alone are woke. It,
it's
what?
it's what it is. It's woke is just the current, like the 2023 catch-all term for anything that's bad. It's like back in the 90s. I'm pretty sure you remember. It was probably like this in Spain too. Whenever, like in the 90s and early mid 2000s, if you didn't like something, oh, that's gay. That's gay.
Yeah. And it's like in
It's
2016 they used the term SJW a lot.
SSJW and cuck and
And soy boy and all
soy
these funny
boy.
words.
Yeah,
Yeah, throwing them
and
around. What a great rebuttal. Just like someone in my mentions, like throwing around like a soy jack, common as soy jack in my mentions. Like, oh wow, great rebuttal, my dude. I bet you're fun at parties.
it's like all I can think about now. It's like these people still use like this to go into that a little bit. These people still use like the soy jack meme,
There's even
and
weird soy jack videos. Like there's one about Germany. There's another one like combines the soy
oh
jack with South Park. There's a whole rabbit hole of soy jack like
oh
reaction videos or something.
oh yeah, and
And then there's like the one with like what the soy jack fish connected to a soy jack shark or something, or something like
no, I
that.
haven't seen that one. Like the ones I've mostly seen has been like music paired with like sound effects. Like uh there's one I'm trying to remember the name. It's a Russian song, but it's like it's like don't okay, I remember it now. Don't tell mom I'm in Chechnya.
Yeah.
Well, but you're a tank driver in Chechnya, and it's like they actually have sound effects like the gunfire, bullets denting off the tank getting blown up, and Russian radio comms going on and everything. It's like very well made,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
like
like
wartime ASMR or something. I think I don't
yeah,
remember the channel name, but it was like
with music,
basically
but it's
wartime ASMR stuff where they put like a certain track of music related to that particular time period, but also like the sound effects of the battlefield and the gunshots and the gunfire and tanks rolling in and artillery and all
yeah,
that sort of war ambience.
yeah, because they had one that's like that I really like, called "Ain't No Place for a Hero" from, or no, the song's called "Shortchange Hero" from the Heavy. But you're the last survivor from Operation Red Wings, and they used gunfire. They used sound effects like the voice comms and everything from Insurgency Sandstorm, and that actually got me into playing the game because
Yeah.
like it actually like it gives you the experience like this is what it's like actually being in war, or somewhat like your kind of reactions, and
Yeah, I remember
this is what it's
getting
like
banned
being a
entirely permanently from Insurgency Sandstorm back in the day when I was on the far right because
that's okay. Sorry.
because I was basically trolling people by just team killing or something, or like blocking people's sight or something like that while yelling a bunch of military U.S. Navy SEAL stuff in the in-game voice chat. I think it was, but I don't know. I got banned permanently with probably one back ban, and that's it. And yeah, I cannot play Insurgency Sandstorm anymore.
that that
So
that's
yeah,
why that's why I'd play it like offline because I just wouldn't want to deal with those people. I because all I want to do is sit there and shoot NPC bots, and because I also
I
I'm
didn't know
a
it had
firearms
offline
enthusiast.
though.
It does now, from my understanding. It's like it's got like bots and stuff now,
Huh? Weird.
but but it's like I'm also like a gun enthusiast. I'm a firearms enthusiast, so I like seeing how they accurately display like reload animations and jamming and everything.
Yeah, I give credit that game for that. Honestly, at least it's a kind of the most accurate type of game when it comes to that. I guess.
Yeah, it's like because I don't want to play something like what's his name, Arma 3, because like that's too much.
Yeah,
Like
that's
because there's too much going on, and like at that point, I might as well just go ahead and sign up and actually go out and be in the field.
yeah, like that's a little bit for like really, really too much into the nerdy stuff. I think, right?
Yeah, like my partner, like they would be into it because where they're like actual like active duty and everything.
Yeah.
Because they understand everything that's going on, and like I understand a good bit of it now because we've been together 5 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
and like sometimes that's all they talk about because where it's their job, it's their work, but
Yeah, makes
still it's
sense.
like, but still it's unless I'm actually going to be like active in it, I don't want to be that deep into a game that has that deep a curve
Ooh,
when it
yeah.
comes to like that kind of knowledge and everything.
Yeah, I think some games like that tend to have like a really deeper difficulty curve at some point.
Now if there's like a slimmed down simplified mode or something for it, like
There's also
I'd be
like
down for it.
RP servers for Armor 3, right? Like that's
uh
like there's in Garry's Mod RP servers. There's also in Armor 3, I think. At least that's what I know.
let me look into that real quick. But something like that, like at that point, just play airsoft. Unless
Airsoft.
it's,
Yeah.
well, you don't know what airsoft is.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Oh, okay. uh, there's some people I meet that don't know what it is, and I have to go through and explain it. It's like it's fun, but unless you're actually wearing like a vest or something, it can hurt like fuck because there's some people that'll
Oh yeah.
really
Yeah,
have
yeah.
their guns tuned up. And
Yeah. Yeah, I
all
know
right,
that.
uh, so what's next on the topics then?
Yeah, well, I was gonna basically say that there's a coincidence, right, that happens in like Gmod RP servers, which are
Oh,
basically like the 1945 the RP servers in Gmod. They're full of fucking neo Nazis. Oh, big shocker, right?
oh, yeah, I can't say that I'm exactly shocked because like the Axis team that you
Yeah, I
play
mean
on.
either. Yeah. But there was like even this giant neo-Nazi admin for one of these servers, the 1945 RP servers in Gmod, which who basically anyone who charged back donations to his server, he docs on Discord or whatever on his forum or whatever it is, and he also was exposed by Unicorn Riot like not long ago
Was
when
this the dude that like paid $50,000 for a fucking server?
oh no! This it's not the
Okay,
same dude. It's like a neo-Nazi
okay.
that runs like 1945 RPG mod server, right? And yeah, he got caught by Unicorn Riot when he was going on a trip on with a bunch of Nazi guys in a hate group or whatever, and he got caught by the cops pretending he was like, oh, I'm just going on a hike with some friends. Well, his car was entirely broken and everything. He really shat his pants and all that shit. Imagine that.
What?
I mean, the guy was
What's his
so
name?
fucking shitless scared of the cops. He eventually got caught along with like the neo-Nazi friends he got and everything, basically. But I mean, he's the usual kind of dude that looks like the typical basement dweller nerd shit, you know? And he was like also yelling at Planned Parenthood at some point in a video, even though you cannot see his face in there. But he was like a typical basement dweller shit that thinks he's Aryan shit when he's really not. Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
God, that's like that reminds me of that meme that
I think his name was something Adam. I think Adam something. I remember. I don't remember it correctly, but I mean, He used to be in a Discord kind of group called the Atom Buffin.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Atom Waffen.
No,
Found
the
them right here.
not the Atom Buffin, the Atom Buffin, like Adam,
Oh.
Adam and Eve kind of stuff. You know,
Oh, okay. Because I seen Adam Waffen
there's a difference between Atom Buffin and then there's this
and
Atom Buffin. I don't know. I kind of nearly spell it like the same way, but you get the gist.
I think I see it here.
Yeah, because the name of it is kind of like a
Yeah,
wordplay on the actual Atom Buffin.
yeah. It's like the actual terrorist group and
Yeah, and you can imagine by now, like with that sort of shit, what kind of shit they say on like the 1945 RP servers. Oh, see, chat. Oh no, wait, it's literally hate speech. Oh wow, I'm calling me surprised, right?
I
Like,
was gonna say
yeah,
I can just imagine. Uh, but I haven't seen this dude yet. But I can already picture it in my head how he looks. I don't know if you remember seeing the meme. That one dude is like, I look Nordic as fuck, but like his chin is like sunken in, and like he's got like
double
a
chin
backwards
rather,
broke.
right?
Yeah, it's like a double chin mixed with his main chin being sunken in,
Yeah,
and like he's got like an arm that's like twisted and wrong.
yeah.
Yeah, but he's Nordic as fuck, and he's this major like neo-Nazi kid.
And there was like also the one with the Samhite typical fan with a Samhite shooter T-shirt, who
Oh
was a
God, I haven't seen
blonde
that one.
kid, really up to his bones, thick, thin as shit, like looking disgusting. Yeah, typical
But
Samhite fan. Yeah,
well, that's the funny thing about people like this, because there's some that get involved in the ideology, and if I remember correctly, that's how you got involved with it. Is it's not that you actually feel that way in your heart, but you're looking for belonging. You're looking for a group to be with, to be a part of something, and then you get fed this whole big amount of bullshit about how it's like, oh, you're not the problem. It's you're there's nothing wrong with you. Everyone else is the problem. And then you get fed in
yeah,
and
I get
lied to
that.
about like it's like it leads into the whole like they tell you that, and then it goes further and further. Like specifically, these people are the problems: Jews, African Americans, Asians, and it's like no,
Yeah, they tend
that's
to
no.
grab a lot of leftist shit and sort of like deflect it on marginalized groups that cannot go away as a way to have a constant scapegoat that to keep the eternal conflict kind of thing. Because fascists tend to like rely on like a constant conflict. They have to rely on that sort of
It's
shit. They need a constant enemy that doesn't easily go away. Right.
it's a mix of needing constant conflict and a victim complex. They have to always be a victim, because
Yeah.
if they're not a victim, then they can't plead their case about how like, oh, we're treated, we're going, treated like shit, we're going away. And it's like there's it, this is something that bothers me personally, because you know growing up in the South, you'll constantly, at least in my area of the South, you'll constantly hear this shit about how it's like, oh, the people of color, they're replacing us whites, and as soon as they get built up enough, like white
Yeah.
people are going to be a minority. It's like, no, that's not how that fucking works. If I remember correctly, the way the direction is going to go, after a long period, there may not be race anymore. They'll just be different cultures. Like South Park even mentioned this with the people from the future where like no one had hair and everyone was one specific color, but like they still had like different cultures and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, but then again, at that point, knowing how the human race is, even when if it gets to a point like 20,000 years, 30,000 years, 40,000 years into the future, and there is not specifically any kind of races anymore. There's just different cultures. There's still going to be something to bitch about. There's
Like,
still going to be these kind of people.
yeah. Like, you mean like urban tribes or whatever, or just cultures?
Um, I'm not certain if I'm being honest because this is just kind of me estimating based off some stuff I've seen. Um, but the point I'm making is though it's like there's this is the main point. There's always going to be somebody bitching about something. There's always going to be somebody bitching and complaining about something because I
Yeah.
guess it's the human need for conflict.
Yeah. Like this, I think I remember this whole video, which is called "How to Radicalize a Normie," and it goes basically on to say that there's not only the victim complex, it's also the sense, like you said, the sense of belonging in the far right, and honestly, it kind of makes a lot of sense because it then goes into a whole onion layers type of rabbit hole where you slowly radicalize with each and every passing point. But the problem is, the far right as we know currently is not really centralized with a leadership or anything. So eventually you get all of these lone wolves or whatever who don't know what to do, but the far right in general wants to wash off their hands and just use the sort of the useful idiots until they're not useful anymore, and then sort of create all this sort of stochastic terrorism type of thing.
Oh yeah, because there, from my understanding and seeing things, at least from what I've seen, no group like this is really centralized, and in a combination for a few reasons. Number one, they can't because some of their beliefs and ideals are so extreme. They can't be out in the open with them.
Yeah,
So that kind of leads to somewhat of a bit of isolation. And number two, when they have one leader, there's always going to be somebody that's like, oh, he's not, he doesn't believe the same way I do. Like, he's not good enough. And
mm-hmm.
it's a case of like they're not crazy enough because if you've seen right now, there are people that are still holding on to Trump as hard as they can
Yeah,
and are trying to do whatever they can to make sure Ron DeSantis doesn't win, the primaries to be the Republican candidate. But then there's people on Ron DeSantis's side that are fighting against the Trump people, and then there's groups that are like, okay, we don't want any of this going on in the Republican Party. We want the old Republican Party that didn't rely on mud throwing and all this. And then there's the people that just completely out of fucking left field, like Paul Joseph Watson and what's his name with the gay frogs? I forget his name. Um,
yeah, the Alex Jones one.
yeah, like the Alex Jones type shit. And then then that leads a little further. It's like Alex Jones. I think I think he's one of the agents, and they go into the uh I can't say the word because the video might not get posted. Not on your end, but like YouTube's end. But the specific Anon people.
Yeah,
I'm gonna avoid the first letter, but those specific people, and, because they'll sit there and their shit is crazier and deeper than Alex Jones, and then I bet you 10 there is someone that is crazier and deeper than that we just haven't seen yet.
yeah, it kind of makes sense when you have stuff like 8chan and 4chan, right? 8chan at some degree is kind of worse than 4chan at some extent, but even then it's still kind of some
Oh,
shit.
Oh, I haven't heard any like much conspiracy aside from the certain anons when it comes to 8chan. What I've mostly heard is people. go to 8chan specifically for cheese pizza.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
get that. Yeah,
that's so it's like
I heard about that too. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. And then it goes the whole shit about QAnon and everything, which claims to protect
that
the children from the satanic cabal of,
oh
yeah, and
yeah.
yeah, it's kind of icky like that.
My grandmother, to tell a story about that, actually. My grandmother, she works for a store. She works for a retail store as
Yeah,
well. Not the same one as mine. Um, and she literally had a lady tell her like, "Hey, so you've heard about like pizza places, right?" It's like, what do you mean the pizza places? It's like they're sitting there and kidnapping kids and taking them underground underneath the pizza places so that way they could sacrifice them to Satan and take out their adrenal glands and
yeah. I
and it's like
mean,
no,
it's kind of
and
crazy,
she
honestly.
like it scared her to the point like she asked me it's like, honey, is this true? What's true? There's pizza places kidnapping kids and molesting them and killing them. No, no, no. And I
Yeah,
had to go into like a whole explanation on that.
I mean, because the shit is already obvious by now, right? Like, it's already been
Oh,
debunked multiple times already.
the first one, the pizza place was debunked because if you remember, the pizza place didn't even have a fucking basement.
Yeah, kind of makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I guess people didn't see the signs enough. I guess, you know.
Oh, it's like no, they didn't press the button that unlocks the door for the secret basement.
No,
He
I guess
paid he
not.
he he
Wasn't it
paid
like
off this.
eventually one guy who like tried to shoot up at one of these places because he thought there was like a
Yeah,
basement with that sort of shit?
that's the one I'm saying. It's like he went there and he shot up the pizza place. No one got hurt, thank God. Well, I think somebody got shot, but they didn't die. So thank God. And there was no basement. He
Yeah,
kept asking, "Where's the
yeah,
basement?"
there
There
was
there is no
nothing like
basement.
that. There was basically nothing like that.
He shot some dude, like I said, who thankfully lived
Like,
for no fucking reason.
yeah, it makes no sense. What is the fucking point of that? I don't know.
Uh,
Kind of silly.
it's like I love on the outside looking in these conspiracy theories like this because some of them can be so damn interesting just to listen to. But the fact that what bothers me about them is that people actually believe this. People actually think this is true, and it's like, no, this isn't true. Like, no, I
I
promise
mean,
you, it's
yeah,
not. And
yeah. It's like when, like, in the Stone Age, you eat a berry and then get sick and then attribute the sickness to the berry. That sort of shit. Yeah, it's,
yeah,
what's I don't remember what's the term called for that, but yeah, it's typical humankind shit. Yeah.
um, I could actually wheel this back around here too. Um, these people like that believe these conspiracy theories actually have like a high chance of being involved with these groups
Yeah.
because these groups will latch onto these people because since they already believe a bunch of nonsense and bullshit, they'll spin it around and spin it into their web of lies, essentially saying like it's like, oh, there is a conspiracy going on. Didn't you hear? It's like it's a conspiracy against white people. It's a conspiracy against you because you're right.
Yeah,
The
like the
woke
victim
are.
complex, you said, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah,
It's like
I mean, that's how it works, basically. But
it's
yeah.
like they spin it like that, and like because these people are easily manipulated because they're not understanding what's going wrong in their life, so they're looking for answers, and here's this quote unquote magical person that has all the answers for them. And
Yeah. Like, people tend to believe in sky people who do not exist or something.
oh yeah, it's one of the things Eric from Internet Comment Etiquette actually makes fun of. Like he talks about the cloud people all the time,
Yeah. Oh,
and
well.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like people actually believe in shit like that. And it's like no, no, no. It, it it's an interesting topic, but I think it might be best that we say something structured for like another podcast episode, so that way we can actually kind of go into it a little bit more in depth and actually be a little bit more prepared.
Yeah, maybe that makes sense. Anyway, yeah. Gonna wrap it up. Um, JMAA.tv. Check out the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts even, I think. And yeah, see you later.